Man, oh man, here we go again. We are back with some Will It Run action. That's right, we are gonna head out to the new place today, and this box truck came with the property. It was free 99, guys. Did not cost me a dime. That's not true. I had to buy that property that come with it, and if you wanna, yeah, it cost me in one way or another, I promise you. What is this, you ask? Well, I'm rigging up a toolbox. It's quite literally a box. And that's because we're about to load down the U-Haul and head that way. And we're not gonna take a whole lot. I'm gonna grab a quick little this, a little that, and we're gonna head that way. Huh? Tell me that wasn't meant to be. This right here is the most important tool to take, guys. If you can't, if a looby-doob and break, clean, rebuild can't fix it, I don't want nothing to do with it. I think that's good enough. And I think I got a little fuel out there. Oh, batteries. We need some type of battery. Now this cute little guy right here should be charged. And a cute tiny battery like this is exactly what you want for a big old girthy box truck. I'm sure it's got all the amps we need. I robbed our battery out of the wagon. Sorry, wagon. Got our jump pack. I think this thing's on its last leg though. She don't do very good anymore. And then a few more tools. And guys, I think we're ready to head that way. Oh, we may want to get some water for today. Here at Puddins.fab Shop, when it's time for some vehicular maintenance, we always stop in at our local O'Reilly's to get the parts we need to complete the job. Now speaking of stopping, our old big man van here, well, she's due for a set of brakes. When stopping, this thing shakes more than an old washing machine when them wet towels get wadded on one side. She's a wobbling, she's a wobbling. Let's get these old worn out parts out of here. Let's get this old stuff out the way where we can bring in our new stuff to play. To get this van stopping top quality, we're gonna use some parts that are top quality. That's why we're going with the Brake Best Select Pro. Woo, baby, just look at the packaging on these units, huh? If only professionals are allowed to touch these professional grade brake pads, I may have to send them back. The friction formulas used to make these are vehicle specific and designed to match OE performance. They have noise canceling shims, they come with brake-in coating, and they come with premium coated stainless steel hardware when needed. And our rotors are fully coated with an OE match design with an OE vane configuration. Plus, they're precision mill balanced. Let's get our van put back together. Smells like a good time for a little test drive action. Oh baby, that's a superb pedal. So you mean to tell me this steering wheel ain't gonna shake like a bowl of jello after a good slap no more? Thanks to O'Reilly's Brake Best Select Pro, we've got that van stopping like new, and we can call that job D-U-M. She's done. Do you have a vehicle that needs brakes? Well, you're in luck. Because for a limited time, you can save 15% when you buy brake pads and 2 rotors. Now, if you ask me, that's a good deal. And if you gotta do brakes, folks, you might as well do them when you get you a good deal. Swung by the old grocery and got us some water. And there she is, guys. There's the big old granddaddy box truck. Y'all want a little side comparison? A little front to back, side by side comparison? I don't think something can be front to back and side by side. You don't see these damn things next to each other or not? There's a comparison, guys. The box on that one is bigger than the whole damn truck. But that one's newer, so actually that one's grandpa, okay? If I say that, I don't actually know what year this one is. And I don't know if we can find a little plate that tells us that information. We're gonna look, and in fact, I have not looked this thing over very well. I've got in it enough to store some crap in the back. And it came on the property. It was parked over there. I don't know if y'all can see that far, but there's an excavator moving right now, and kind of that general direction is where it was parked. And when we had some dirt work done out here, we drug it to over there, and then not too long ago we drug it up to here. Come on, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I've had the door open. I did pop the hood once to make sure there was a motor in there, and there is. So that's about all I know about it. and manning equipment. Maybe that's someone who owned it at some point. Oh, what do we have here? Gross vehicle weight, 21,000 pounds. She's made in the USA. Here's her wheelbase, type whatever, body, trans, axle. Trans nowadays means something else. There's our VIN and there's our production date, 1990. Here's some other good information for you, and the vehicle noise emission control information. She meets standard, folks. No, actually this ain't a bad truck. You wanna know the one thing I really noticed about it the time or two I've been in here? How good that window rolls down and up. Oh, first time noticing that. We got a kill switch right there. I'm crawling up in this rig. I'm glad there ain't nothing in there because, well, I ain't even scared of those things. It looks like she was last tagged in 13, come to find out. I've never even noticed this in the seat. We had some insurance attached to it. Now, this is what I do know about this whole situation. The gentleman I bought this land from said around 2013-ish, which matches that sticker right there. They were still driving this truck. He had an audio company and they would use this just to move some of their equipment. Prior to that, this thing belonged to some parts company in Oklahoma City, and they had one warehouse here and another warehouse like a couple miles down the road, and this thing was only used for like once or twice a week, transporting stuff from one warehouse to the other back and forth. So it didn't have a whole lot of drive time on it from what I remember being told about it. Well, that's about all I know about it. I'd have to call Mr. Qualls and hear the story again because I've slept since then and I've bumped my head even more since then. It was an operating truck when it was parked over there though. That was the whole point of that. Oh, Ford was fancy, huh? Little hexagon shape for your windshield wipers, but your lights gets a circle shape. How fancy. I don't know what our switch is. Of course, we got our choke there. Now that just says cool. I don't even think this rig came with AC. She's just a work truck. That right there is probably for air brakes and engine. What the hell's that say? Engine overheat or low oil pressure. One or the other, okay? Yeah, good luck. Crawling up in here, I did notice we've got a rusted out cab. Ooh, yeah, that's real crunchy. Just push your finger right on through there. Oh, she's the super soft edition. Oh, looks like we got us some insurance papers and your classic F, B, and C series 1990 owner guide. Overall, she is not in terrible shape. We even got louvered doors to help keep them babies cool. As far as the big old box, we got the modern wagon, which is manufactured by the Dealer's Truck Equipment, Louisville, Kentucky. She's got a big old fuel tank with the step built in, fancy. This side you just get a regular step and see where our battery goes now. Or a battery, who knows, maybe this thing has 2 batteries. I see our box does have a repair right up there. And she is officially the F600 Moss Edition. Right here we got the 370-2V, which is our engine, which I believe is a big block Ford, obviously a Ford, but the whole big block thing, guys, I don't know a lot about Fords, but you better believe if it says F600, by golly, it's getting a big block. Oh, all right, I guess she just pops normal. Oh boy, howdy. Oh man. All right, couple things I noticed right off. Obviously, the bushes and the briars. What in the thorny pokey devils we got going on here? That's right, this thing was in a briar patch over there. The whole front end was in it. And yeah, the other thing I noticed is the breather is off, or the lid is off our breather, which means crap's been able to get in the carburetor, which ain't good. And thirdly, what I notice is there's damn tubes and hoses plumb everywhere. We gotta love the smog era stuff. Holy crap. And the fourth thing I just noticed was all them red wasps right there looking at me like I'm a dumb idiot. I'm lucky I didn't get swarmed. Well, don't worry, up here in the shop I got something for them. Got some wasp spray. This ain't the good stuff. I have some good stuff somewhere, I can't find it. This stuff half sprays decent, I guess. Not really. I'm gonna run. Get your bird chirping butt out of here. I ain't running. Mama didn't raise no punk. Don't forget we got some brake clean too in case things get too buck nasty. They call me Toucan Tommy because I'll hit them with a double blast, guys. Holster that baby. I dropped them all like a sack of potatoes. Now then we got the lone wolf over here. Oh no, there's two of them. We had these two over here working on their own nest. They must have got kicked out of the big nest club. Y'all seen me fist fight those things? That is definitely the way to go. It makes your life a lot easier than having to have a swing off with 1,000 little wasps. All right, let's get some gloves and crawl up in here because we gotta get that crap out of here. Yep. Oh, nasty thing. Ow. Ow. You can feel them through them gloves. What's tricky about them is they grew into the stuff, so like that piece goes into the hood and it wires all over and it's hard to pull out of there. Between them wasps and these thorns, she had one hell of a defense system on her to try to keep folks away. She tried her best. Little dirt dauber right on top, of course. Aw, are you sleepy? Taking a little nappy poo? Yeah, someone pulled the nut and threw that off to the side. That was nice of them. Hopefully the motor's freed up. We ain't even gonna try to get on this one and turn it by hand. Ain't no damn way. See another wasp nest that fell off the hood at some point down there. That's the devil's bush right there. Oh, just uncovered the dipstick. Let's get these out of here and check some oil. Little look-see at the oil. She is not full. In fact, she's slightly low, but the oil itself looks terrible, luckily. Yeah, she's just a little dark. Still smells like good oil. A quart or two low, psh, don't worry about it. Oh, crumble. What in the racked and tacked, all thread welded together do we got going on here? Look, it's like a bolt with a piece of all thread welded to it. I can't even get this thing off here. Oh, yeah, I can. Just drop some of this rust and dirt down in her carburetor. That's good. She's the 370 2V Lima engine. You know why this is the Lima engine? Because those thorns and wasps are telling you to leave me alone. And with that breather out the way, we can see a lot more, like a lot more dirt daubers, of course. A lot more custom plumbing, like this, to that, to that. Sure enough, she's got just the 2-barrel on her. All kinds of hoses that I ain't got a damn clue what any of it is, but don't worry about that. I'm sure none of it's important. There's the rest of her air intake. I see our ignition module box, whatever, the Duraspark or whatever they call that. She's Napa edition, so she's been replaced at some point. We got the exhaust rail vacuum heat rising manifolds that go to the EGR selector valve that sphincters over to the plastic crossover valve that then goes to the Z turbo pump, aka a bunch of bullcrap that I don't know what it is. I know what this is. This is Mortsky's favorite flexi hose. He loves these things. Carburetor's not stuck. That's good. Let me grab a hold of this motor. I'll tell you if it's stuck. Oh, it spun, guys. I didn't think I was gonna be able to spin this thing, but sure enough, I seen her go. Yeah, I'm sure that chewed up thick red wire is not important. Just act like you didn't see that. Wonder where that's supposed to be going. Not right there, surely. You gotta be shitting me. I'll give this truck one thing. It's definitely persistent. Look at that. Got a defense system for the battery as well. Whoa! See, these things are tricky. They try to knock down my camera. These things are vicious, guys. That right there is the worst piece I've seen so far. We got her good enough to get to our battery. These things are plumb along the frame rail though. You can see the back of the engine right there. Is that a fuel filter right up there? If so, it's surrounded by them as well. We got the Oklahoma Special holding this thing in. Good old bungee cord, of course. And I do not remember seeing another battery. I see we got a cable here running to the front, and then we got a big old cable running to the back. That's spinning, that's perfect. This is a smaller size, even better. No surprise there. Oh man, look, that thing had been rusted through for a long time. There's literally a pin drop size of material holding that. Holy cow. I got her loose enough, I guess. Oh, I'm gonna do a little scraping and cleaning in here so we get us a premium connection. We may have to go dig in our vehicles over there and see what we can find for a bolt, because this one is definitely gonna break. Yep, didn't take much. Now this C10 on the Blazer chassis, she came with a lot of parts in her. So I feel like if we have any chance of finding a bolt, it's gonna be in here. I got some Allen wrenches. Right here we got the Mordsky Special. Got 2 starters for him to mess up. Anything's a hammer when you're desperate enough. Boy, y'all see them going to town over there? Talk about some guys with a shitty job. You get it? They're putting in the septic system. That's where your poop goes. It's a shitty job. No more terrible jokes? Okay, you got it. Oh! Ho, ho, ho. Hey there, good looking. No more terrible jokes? Okay, you got it. Our key was on, so let's turn it off. Your friends don't live here no more. Oh, another one. They're coming back. They've been on side quests. They've been on missions, and they're returning home, and they're like, where the hell did home base go? Home ain't here no more. Ah, see, I knew it. I knew there was going to be another battery somewhere. I was going to say, there ain't no way all this is running off of one. Yep, and it looks like this. That's probably coming from up there. Was supposed to go to right here. Did bring my meter, so let's set her to volts. That's AC. Boop. We want her to DC. It says we got 1 volt. So something's probably back feeding somehow and making it back here, but not a lot. What about this though? Is this where we're feeding from or what? That says nothing. Some of the lights I brought out here came with a free creeper. You scared me.
The oven's nice. We can throw a feast, literally.
Throw a feast?
Yeah.
Run, girl, run. Damn, them daubers were stacking dimes, folks. Looks like they threw down 3 passes with 70-18 welding rod. And we ain't got nothing here neither. Now I know on some RV systems, if you got an extra battery, they actually put a solenoid in between there, and you've got to have the key on, where it turns the solenoid on, to actually allow power to do its thing. So maybe we need to go turn the key on in this rig. Looks like there's some lever you pull, and it's going to pull the solenoid though, when we do figure out how to get power to it. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Yeah, a little windshield wiper action. Something's on. Turn them off. What is working up in here though? I don't know if that pulls vacuum pump or something probably. It runs over. Yeah, that's definitely got to be for vacuum. I'm gonna unplug that from that relay. That way that thing don't just sit there and run and kill our battery. Hey, we got 11 volts. We still ain't got nothing here. We still ain't got no power out our pump here. That runs plumb over there. Then it comes through here. Then it runs along there. It goes way up there to something. And then this comes all the way back. Boy, what in the wiring nightmare they got going on here? All right, well, that hooked up, we got 10 volts at the solenoid in there. I don't know about this. We're just gonna assume that's also supposed to be 12 volt hot. Do you just slam this and hope for the best? Something's doing something. Oh, she's moving, guys. Oh, oh, oh. Look at that horsefly. I'd rather be stung by a wasp than bit by one of them. Hey, yeah. May have missed. This baby can hold 2,000 pounds when the load is centered on the platform. There's our safety hook that was not looking very safe. Now see, it's got a big old spring on it, so yeah, I guess we just flip that on out. Woohoo! Get the hell out of here. Guys, I got all kinds of crap in the back of this truck, and at least unloading it just got a hell of a lot easier. Oh yeah. Oh, and we got a hydraulic leak I can already see. I'm assuming we shove this down and she's gonna start dropping. Yep. And that cylinder's plumb pissing. Hey, for now, we're gonna take it as a big old W. That's a win. What do y'all reckon the fuel looks like or smells like in here? Well, judging off the little filler neck, she's gonna be a little rusty. Can't really see down in there, but what I can see pretty much looks like that, just nice and rusty. Did bring our little borescope here. Maybe we can wiggle worm it in there somehow. She's upside down, but maybe you can see. Yeah, she don't look the greatest. Wanted to check that before we started cranking, just in case there's like a bunch of nasty fuel in there or something, but I think it's actually empty. Sounds pretty empty to me. All right, baby, be good to me. Oh. There's our starter. That lead is definitely nice and corroded. I guarantee you that'll stop starters from doing what they're supposed to do. What in the custom drop down radiator tank we got going on here? See our other flexi hose coming down to this log of a manifold. It's got another little boot connecting it back to the radiator. Well, then I guess we're going and cooling something else. Is this transmission water cooled? Here's a better question. Why am I messing with this thing? Here's a better question. Why is there old Folgers can, damn coffee can clamp down here, huh? Ford and their redneckery. Oh, we got V-bands on the exhaust. Dang, race truck. Here's our starter solenoid. As you can tell by the 4,000 eyelets on it. Nothing had an obvious loose connection, which ain't good. It's what we wanted to see. Our jump pack ain't in the greatest shape, but this thing could use any help it could get. Oh, well, it tried. The amount of cranking power we're gonna need. We're gonna rob the battery out the old trailer here. Hopefully it's got a half decent charge still anyhow. Most folks don't know it, but if you can't rig in a battery with a bungee strap in Oklahoma, you actually failed kindergarten. I'll still throw down. Don't test me. Oh, baby! One, she was cranking. Two, I heard all kinds of like nuts or dirt daubers falling off the engine or something up there. I'm actually afraid to crank on that a whole lot just because we ain't got the battery to support it. I do have one other battery I brought, so we'll probably go ahead and try to get it on the back one, and maybe that'll help as well. That should be GUD good to go. Now before we crank on her anymore, I'm gonna get our old helper switch. Then one of these, that's green, it's red. One of these is gonna be our key switch. So when we go from there to there by pushing this button, we can crank it. Now by golly guys, I don't think I've got a lot of cranking power here. And if that ain't enough and we gotta get more batteries, I don't know what we're gonna do. Hell, these contractors got trucks plumb all over here with big old engines in them, so they may lose a battery or two being out here. Did y'all sign the waiver before you got here? The waiver that said you may come up with some missing parts? Let's just straight go for it. Try to try to send some gas down the carbureting machine right down its snout and see what are the chances she has spark, it's cranking after a little electrical rigging, and it's ready to just bust off. Now I knew I had a little petrol around here somewhere. Excuse me guys, that was downright rude of me. It is hard to chug cold water. I'm more a room temp kind of guy myself. Fill our old bottle up with some Get Her Done 91. Let's give her a little hole pop right there. It's gonna take a while, but I do believe if we put fuel in here, that's gonna fill up our bowl. So who knows these things well? I mean, obviously 1990, that seems a little late for a carbureting machine. But of course, there ain't nothing wrong with these style carburetors. In fact, I love them. Is this just because it's more industrial, big commercial, big rig type stuff, or what? I mean, carburetors with Duraspark, when did that start for Ford? Late 70s, I'm guessing. I don't know, guys. Oh, good thing we got that out of there. With the precision of an eagle swooping to kill its prey, I will continue to spray. I don't even care. All right, let's give her a good spray down the snort there. Plenty of fuel. Make sure our key's on. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Sounded to me like it did try to hit once. Sounds to me like it's trying. Let's check spark just in case. There we go. Get a wire popped off there finally. Shove a screwdriver in there and she should arc over to that. Now there's definitely spark. Get them on and off suck. Honestly, I think she's just not cranking fast enough to hit off on some good compression, because it's probably been a minute. We got fuel, we got spark, we've got pretty slow crank. I done went down this road before, guys, on my grandpa's Ford. It was a 460 big block Ford. I tried everything. I think it was the first Will It Run I really did on the channel. It kicked my ass. I was backpacking in, snow hiking, batteries down back, walking 20 miles behind enemy lines. And at the end of the day, you know what got it to go? I hit her with some snort juice. That's right, I hit it with some ether and it busted off. It just needed that first little I want to run again boost. A little pick me up, if you will. Now, I ain't got ether, but I do have brake clean. And if this will kill a wasp, it'll damn sure help a Ford run. Y'all see down in there? I mean, that sucker's plumb full. Maybe I'm having a total idiot moment here, but if this opens our butterflies, how come when we do that, that fuel don't go nowhere? It stays right in there. It ain't dropping one bit. How is that holding damn fluid if opening that's supposed to open your butterflies? And how does that shaft spin and not open butterflies? Something's not adding up here. With this is just pivoting on here. Why are those butterflies not opening? What in the devil? That whole thing's real sloppy on there. Unfortunately, I think that means we're gonna have to pull the carburetor off this thing, which looks like it could be quite fun. Fuel line, whatever that tube is, whatever this cable is, couple return springs. Right there's the actual rod that shoves it from the gas pedal, accelerator pedal. And then what in the, we got a electronic powered choke device of some sort. I don't know, guys, I just know I wasn't wanting to pull that off there. We're definitely gonna rip our gasket, and we don't have one of them. We'll start with that. Well, we can't get that, so that's good. And we get our couple big springs. I can't imagine why this could be worn out. Well, luckily someone's rounded off our fuel line down here before. That's one way to do it, just pull the whole stud. She's long-winded. Or I'm short-stroking, one of the two. This thing is hard-lined, and that whole thing is spinning. Perfect. Oh, yeah. My, oh my. Oh, carburetor's gonna come off and play with me, huh? Oh yeah, I forgot they have these things called the top hat plunger. That's that. Gotta unplug it. How's this looking? Not very good. She's nice and rusty. Rusty but trusty. We're into it now. You'll see that? We're not moving our butterflies. That's the problem. You also see that? That's how much fuel is in her. Usually if those are stuck, you can't move this. This has to be somehow intercoupled, right? That's about the only way that could work. Because if that's spinning and the shaft I can see spinning and this ain't spinning, there's a disconnect. So this little block thing, it's held on with Allens. This is for our accelerator pump, so we may just have to pop that clip, pull this arm out the way, and then pull them two Allen bolts and see what's going on inside there. All right, here's what we got to work with. That had enough power to bring her up to the top too. Pop her clip and remove her little arm. Boy, how many people does it take to run an excavator? 12 trucks, one person working. Someone's got to lean on this shovel. Sure enough, there's a coupler. Them little tabs are supposed to interlock to those, and she is plumb locked up. I'll spray her down. Give me my looby dooby. I got something for the oh I'm locked up. We're gonna start with a simple soaking. Speaking of soaking, these things need a soaking. Time for a little standard tool maintenance. Much better. We're gonna grab a hold of these and see if it even wants to go. Oh, I see it move some. She's got a little wiggle. She's got a little wiggle. Don't get me wrong, she's stuck. She didn't just free right up. I mean, yeah, she has her problems, but luckily it was not seized. I told y'all earlier there's some stuff down in there. Y'all thought I was playing. She definitely had some spiders living in her. Like a lot of spiders. Like a whole lot of spiders. Like how many spiders can fit in one carburetor? She's plumb full of crap still. Give me my other aerosol can, I'll blow her out. She was squirting fuel, and now the butterflies should open. She's rebuilt. If a looby-doob and brake clean rebuild can't fix it, I don't want nothing to do with it. No, she is not. She's still a little nasty. That's moving, but still not as easy as I'd like it to be. So this definitely has a lot more play in it than it probably should. So next we want to see why is that not grabbing that. Obviously it may just be because it's worn out and it allows it to slip. Maybe those are stuck and someone grabbed this and just cranked on it and it slipped it and like popped past it and then it's just out of position. I don't know. So if you shove that open and then you close it with that, it'll close it, but there ain't no way to open it. Well, we just add to the mystery. The point of having carburetors is because they're simple, not to make them complex and stupid. It don't make no sense to me. I don't even want a carburetor that I can't control the damn butterflies. I don't want nothing to do with it. Now luckily this is the same base plate, design, shape, whatever, as the earlier style ones that were not this ridiculous. AKA what's on our Yeehaw right now. Just a nice simple unit. We don't need all that extra baloney. And they put the 2-barrel Holly styles, I do believe, on the International Lodestars, which we have an orange one sitting right over here that does have a locked up motor. Looky there, another round with these things, huh? Usually them things are aggressive. I can't believe they didn't come at me. I don't need no spray for 2 of them. Now allegedly this thing ran when parked. The gentleman who owned it said he'd go put it around from time to time. Last time he went out there to start it, it just wouldn't start. And come to find out, motor was locked up. He don't even know what caused it. Dang, custom air breather. They brazed that sucker right on, didn't they? Maybe it's a good carburetor. I need some type of pliers, screwdriver, 1/2 inch. I was not aware this hood was not bolted down. Picking that up off there was not the easiest thing to do. Then a little junkyard scrapping. That's our vacuum line right there. Of course, we're twisting on this one too. I'm glad we had this thing sitting here. I don't know if it's going to do us any good, but this motor being locked up, I've tried to unstick it a couple times real quick, and no luck. It don't even act interested. We might as well get us a couple parts off of her. Oh, make her earn her keep. Choke out the way. And get our last couple bolts here, and this sucker should pop right off. Oh, all right. You know, before we pulled that, we could have seen if she was locked up or not. Oh, she's not plumb locked up, but she ain't happy right now. I decided it was time for a quick bite to eat, so I ran on over here to Taco Boy. So I'm gonna eat and then dig through our parts. I may have a gasket for them and I may not. There's one of the spacers for it. I thought I had gasket stuff in here, but I guess I do not. Let's have a little look-see in here. Oh, baby. Hell, I got that whole other carburetor still. There's a thin gasket. By golly, I knew I had another one of these somewhere. Oh, got one of the thick ones too. Gaskets, fuel pump, fuel hose. Gonna go ahead and grab our scrapers as well. And we're gonna go ahead and get some more brake clean and some starting fluid. I may have sort of just dropped that. It's a good thing we got the Yeehaw, not the van today. If you got a cargo van with no windows, and you're driving around with some cans of starter fluid, people may start to ask questions. Let's try this again, and I'm gonna try not to break this one. I'll be damned, she's got the custom air breather holder as well. So we can start to figure out if this is gonna work or not. Got a little sheen and shine to her. About the old carburetor. Ooh, she's a little dirty. Oh yeah, this thing was sticky. We never freed it up, did we? It's got like antique breast milk. She cleaned up good. Let's get down and see if we can free it up. If you want a super scraper, you can holler at Mortsky Repair. He sells them. He sent me that one. And man, does it do an awesome job. Can't believe I just plugged Mortsky's merchandise before my own. Whenever you got a beat on a light like that, that's no good. It's not a good sign. Just in there beating the devil out of it. Hopefully it frees up a little better than our other one. Oh yeah, that's nice already. Oh, a carburetor where you got the choice to close your own butterflies or open your own butterflies? What kind of old Stonehenge technology is this, huh? I don't care if that other carburetor did work on this thing for all of its life and something, whatever. It's stupid. I don't like it. That feels good. All right, I'm gonna go for the high-rise gasket. I may have lost a stud. Oh, it's probably in the carburetor. I found it. Anything else we need to forget? Yep. I'm not too worried about hooking up the rest of this crap, because as long as we get fuel in it and we can get some air to it finally, she may bust off. Coil's hot, going live. Got my morning rat killing did, and part of that was going and getting us a couple batteries. I've been needing a couple bigger heavy duty batteries for like the winch, trailer and all that anyhow, so now's the time. Get a battery that is so big, if you ever need it for your, a normal vehicle, it won't fit, because that makes sense. Yep. Oh, she is hefty. Now, before we get too worried about mounting this thing proper, guys, I think we're going to lose a lot of our power pulling from way down yonder. And if we could rig up something to go from here just right to our starter solenoid here, I think we'd be in better shape. AKA, I got us some of these as well. 1, 2, 47, 93 eyelets on that thing. There's so much crap on here that I don't even know what we can get away with having or not having. I'm just assuming that right there is our biggin. Honestly, this may not be girthy enough. We may plumb smoke it here. Oh, I just find it really hard to believe that right there is the best way to do all this. You know what we need right there? We need an eyelet. I need to run power to the back battery. You got room for one more eyelet up there? I think our Ford here was wired up by Kissin' Cousins Customs. I'm falling off. Can't keep me down. What is that interesting noise? Oh, that's the fuel pump. Crunchy. Whatever that was did not sound happy. How about we just leave that disconnected? Sound like a blender. The ground back there is not very impressive. Just a little piece like that. Of course, it just goes to that frame. So I'd like to think we just did that a little good. Good enough to get that fuel pump crunching. Hopefully good enough to get that engine cranking. And hopefully good enough that she bust off for us. Going live. Just playing. Going live. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. She fired, guys. She did fire a little bit. I'm gonna try to get some fuel in our bowl. Man, it's crazy how much power that thing pulls. Basically, with one of these, if she ain't just bust off ready, you're gonna kill your battery. Has nothing to do with spinning a power steering pump, quadruple air pumps, air compressor, alternator, and everything else associated with this thing. Go, baby! Alright, guys. Well, she's trying. I think our fuel situation ain't the happiest. I think I brought a fuel pump. No, she's definitely trying to bust off. I don't think our fuel to air mixture ratios is keeping anything happy. We may have bigger problems than that, I don't know. Do not forget that carburetor is untested. I've never messed with it before. And we're gonna just try hooking it up to see if maybe actually flowing some fuel through it helps to make it happy. I'm gonna rub that vacuum line right there, our hard line. She's clean enough for me. Fish her right in there and get that started. Come on. There. Nope, nope. Oh, be good to me. Better start. You came right out of that same hole. First, we're gonna tighten that. Then we'll tighten that sucker there. Whoop! That'll just kind of kick it up over here, which is good. I'll give this the Custom Bend Job Deluxe. Boy, that hot is sun on the back today. The sun's just cooking me to well done. Our other carburetor did have one vacuum hose that fed off of it. And it goes into this thing that just tees plumb everywhere, guys. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna pull this right here. That's the one going to our vacuum advance. And we're gonna take it right to that hard line. And we know we should be getting the vacuum from there straight to our distributor. Did I mention it's toasty out? Rupert, bring me my fancy water, please. Rupert runs over with my 1.5 liters of the Fiji. So you probably thought we were gonna run it over here, but it's actually gonna loop back over here. You don't keep hose clamps in your pocket. A little snugging and loving. And what if we plop that right in there? I strip her back a little better. We should be able to share this ground right here. And clearly, we've got a nice connection. When you ain't got a twist nut on you, I forgot mine at home, just twist them together and tape them up. We can run her right over here. Let's give her a test. Thing sounds like a machine gun, and this was the closest thing I had to a machine gun in the back of the E-Haul. Caution, professional parked here. Pop us a pass through. Around here we want stuff to function good, but we want it to look good as well, so we're gonna go with the clear zip ties for the clear fuel tank. Hey, that's pretty good. Can't be mad at that. Take the pickup, plop her right down in. We're ready to test. I don't see fuel going anywhere, so maybe the float's working. Oh, it's coming out the vent, coming out the vent. Spoke too soon. Oh, she sounded like she's gonna try. Go, baby! Go, baby! Woo! Woo! Would have been a good time to have my safety glasses on. Guys, she's running. Idle down. Holy cow. What about all the way? Just freaking idle. Boom, 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 boom. Ah, boom, boom. Told you them carburetors, guys. Just a simple carburetor. Why make it complicated? Oh, did someone order a hog-ass cam? Oh, baby. Well, come on, I'm trying to turn my truck off. I was in a good mood till that wasp just tried to get me, try to hit me with a little sneak attack. We've got a runner, guys. Motor sounds good. Why did I need my safety glasses? I don't know, because that fan was going to town on all them dirt daubers. You'll see all that crap. Yeah, that made me happy. That carburetor working pretty good makes me happy too. Just popped our cap off there, and I did hear it gurgle some. I didn't want to let it run too much because I don't know how much is in there or not in there. Well, we got quite the track for going back and forth here with what we got to work with. I scoured the land far and wide for any empty bottle or jug I could locate. Then we're going to come over here to Puddin's Natural Spring wishing well. We're going to load these babies up. This is what desperation looks like. No, all the water's getting on my knapsack blanket. I'm gonna fill these up and we are gonna backpack in our water. Yeah, just working with what I got. A strong back, a Mexican blanket, and pure iron will. We got 1 liter, plus 1.5 liters, plus another 1.5 liters, plus another liter. Oh, got her. Put in about 5 liters and about 3/5 of a gallon, so add them together and you get 5 3/4 galliliters. That will make me feel better about it running. I thought I hooked that back up, but I guess I didn't. Oh, it's stuck. It's stuck. I don't think our float's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. Still dribbling, guys. But my question is if our key was on, she was cranking, how come it didn't bust off? No. Oh, that's drive. Oh, shoot. Whoa, guys, I don't know what our brake condition is here. Don't feel like we have anything, but when I pulled that sucker into reverse, it definitely shifted, and when I pulled it into drive, it definitely jumped forward a little bit. How come there's not a park on these? You just get reverse, neutral, drive, and your gears. You don't get a park setting. Set park and brake for park. Definitely didn't start because it was flooded. It's probably flooded because that was sitting there dribbling. As soon as I took the sucker wide open and gave her air, she busted off. So this right here should adjust our float. And she came off there easy. And I think as we tighten it down in there, it takes the whole thing a little lower, and that's how you adjust your level. Or I could not be an idiot and I could use this to do it because it fits that. This old carburetor's working good enough that I don't want to take her apart. All right, no dribble. Yeah, she's a little thirsty now that she has some to flow. By a little thirsty, I mean a lot of thirsty. Next tricky thing on this is going to be figuring out our throttle linkage. Because before it had that big old bat wing that plumb hung out there that this hooked up over way out here, and now we're way over here. That gets our choke on there, and we get a return spring. Feels good. And lastly, we gotta figure out how to get this over to that and connect it. It's trying to, had a little give to it, and got the best angle here. Man, a battle was fought, but I succeeded. Getting that off there was a pain in the hiney. So my thought is, if it flips it to this side, it don't seem like much, but if you flip that sucker to that side, this thing's probably still gonna have to be at a wild angle, but I think it'll work. Kind of mocked it up, and I think we need to shorten this up some. It looks a little long. Oh, that one bent. That bent that time. Oh, no it don't. It needs... Are we backwards on this? Right now the pedal's floored, so we need it back like that. Well, that makes things tricky. And now we got a problem. But right now this is closed, and we got to go that away, and that shoves this way. What are we gonna do here? See, on our new setup, it's wanting to hook up here on the top side where it needs pulled. On this old setup, the lever's down here on the bottom where it needs pushed. So we've got pretty much one option here. Mess with this piece of junk again, which I'd rather punch myself in the eyeball, or figure out how to make that one work with that throttle rod. I think we can all agree that this thing's as worthless as tits on a chicken. So I don't feel bad taking it apart, robbing parts, cutting it. We're gonna do a little fabric cobbling. That's what we gotta do. I'm gonna pull this shaft out of that piece. Now, how'd I lose the locking pliers? I just had them. Gonna trim this down and lose a little weight here. Cut everything I think we don't need off of that piece. Now this part we're gonna have to do a little eyeballing. I'm gonna kind of put that where I think it needs to be, which is about right in there. And I'm gonna kind of just look at that the best I can, guys. Because when we take that back to our other place, we're gonna kind of have to set it where we think it's gonna work, and we're gonna have to put a couple tack welds on it. But also, I gotta figure out if we can extend that rod long enough to get it on this piece. Oh, locking pliers. That thing definitely adjusts out there. We got a lot of adjustment on each end. Got the daddy long stretch now. Oh yeah, that's gonna be plenty. And she zips right off, don't worry about that. So our corner up here, I kind of had our index of that hole there, about like so. Probably need to grind that down and get it flat. And then we got a screw right there that I would like to clear. So we'll probably have to trim some of this off here. Don't catch on fire. Don't catch on fire. We can call that the 4-tack bandit, because with 4 tacks, it's ready to go. This carburetor's just got all the custom features. Now, right back on she goes, just like she went on the first time. Just about perfect, actually. I didn't even adjust on that. Hey, when you're good, you know. Look at that, guys. Really don't look too bad in there, does it? Just making sure we didn't lose spark somehow. Anyone remember them plug wires I was saying was a pain to get on and off? I wanted to pull that and check spark over there. It's acting like it ain't even trying one bit. I don't think it's flooded because our carburetor was empty and the floating stuff's working, so I don't know how it could have got flooded. Let's open her up a little bit. We'll plumb split her open then. Here's our old piece. You take that thing and you fold it over on itself. We shove this on here, and however I can get her to crimp, that's how we're gonna do it. I promise you ain't the best, but it may get us running again. Oh wait, it ain't even running, is it? It's sparking. It didn't look like the strongest spark, but it sparked. Got to take the boss up there and get her approval on the work going on in the shop. So I think I figured out our problem. This green wire is supposed to go right there, and I had the red wire on there. That's probably the 12 volts that goes from the solenoid to the ignition system to make sure it has plenty of power when you're cranking. Earlier I knocked those off. I put them back how I thought they were, which was obviously wrong, but maybe the motor was warmed up enough then that it was cranking easier and it had enough power that it busted off for us earlier. But I swapped that. Let's see if we can get her running now. I want to idle her down. That's a little tricky on this. idle screw's way there on the bottom side, so you gotta crank her open. I'm gonna try to turn that down, and I'm gonna try to hook up the original wiring again. I quite literally adjusted that pedal out so it's way up here in the air. But damn, is she running good. I'm gonna mess with that idle till I get it turned down. I don't like it idling that high. Couple more turns on our idle. Try turning it down. And luckily our adjuster rod here, well, it's still adjustable. Hey, that's looking a little better. Yeah, that's just about right. I'm actually gonna take it down just a little more. Then we won't have to stomp an Irish line dance jig or whatever to rev this sucker up. I ain't playing, that thing was like that. It's damn near horizontal. It's perpendicular to the seat. I was gonna have to do knees to chest just to give her a rev up. I don't know why I thought I needed to stretch it out the way it was. Couple more slight changes. Yes, I just hooked our fuel pump wire to our windshield wiper switch because we already know that switch works because I accidentally turned the wipers on earlier. So that should get us from having to have a jumper wire out here. She gonna start raining on me now? Bring it on, I won't even give a damn. The relay I undid yesterday because it was doing that pump. I said that was a vacuum pump, but I got to looking. It looks like that's built into our brakes for the hydraulics on that. And I hope so. And I hope having it makes our brakes work because we get this battery situation sorted over here. But I'm gonna try putting this thing in gear and seeing what happens. Now, obviously we wouldn't want to go far like that, but if that'll hold her, it'll hold her. I think our back brakes are plumb locked up, and guys, I don't know enough to know what you're supposed to do to even try to get them undid. There's a release right on the dash, but also underneath the hood there's some type of compressor or pump with a reservoir on top that says something about air brake fluid or check with parking brake set. I don't know. Let's just see what happens like this. She runs like a top. Oh, we got brake pedal. Shut the front door. Oh, she moves, son. Oh, there's the fuel pump. I hear it now. She runs better with fuel in her. Oh. She's driving, guys. My sweet mama. Love you. She had enough power to move it backwards and forwards with them brakes set. What do we got to do to get them brakes off? So right here we have a pump underneath there. I can see that definitely looks like a pump. Obviously we got a reservoir right here. Check with park brake applied. I still can't believe we just drove this thing. I'd give a damn if it was 4 foot. We got a leak right there, so we're getting some fluid back here. All right, so they're not actually air brakes. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what we're looking at well enough because I don't do big rig stuff. But obviously if hydraulic fluid, aka trans fluid, which is just a hydraulic fluid, it's coming back to this stuff, well, you could only assume these are all full hydraulic. And we got this regular old brake line too that goes to it. Well, obviously we're gonna have to fix that leak. That's a major leak. And other than that, we may have to do a little researching because I'm just lacking experience and knowledge here. So this cinder here is what's leaking actually. And I'm sure that's just for an indicator light or something like that. But I'm sure, I'm assuming. So we could probably just plug that. I think that's going to be an 1/8 inch MPT thread. Well, believe it or not, guys, woo! That was a close one, huh? You almost caught a river monster. I don't keep a 1/8 inch MPT plug in my back pocket, just hose clamps. So I think we're at a standstill. No, that's fine. Tomorrow we'll be back out here trying to figure out what's going on with these brakes. That gives me time to do a little research. This morning, we're gonna hop straight into this brake system. I didn't really get to research it, but I talked to Uncle Rick, who knew a little bit about them. And I talked to Mortski Repair, and he was pretty worthless, but he's friends with Watch West Work, and old West, the watcher worker, knew a lot about them, or a little about them anyhow. He had experience with them. I don't fully understand. Everyone's just like, you cage them like air brakes. Well, that's good if you've ever caged air brakes, but if you ain't never caged air brakes, then you're speaking a foreign language. But these hydraulics, little chamber, whatever here, if I'm understanding this correctly, spring pressure applies the brake. Then when you feed hydraulic fluid in here, there's a diaphragm. We're going to push it back, compressing the spring, releasing the brake. So we need hydraulic pressure there to undo it. Now, we may have a little bit because we were able to spin the tire some, but maybe not enough. Well, if we need hydraulic pressure and we have a leak right there, obviously that's not going to help us. Hydraulics work when you create resistance. That's what builds up the pressure. Hydraulic fluid and flowing does not create pressure, guys. It's when the hydraulic fluid meets resistance that pressure starts to create. So if we're trying to create pressure and we're flowing our fluid right out there, well, that's no bueno. This probably ain't our only issue, but fixing it definitely ain't gonna hurt nothing. These brake systems are called like the damn Lucas Girdle or Gurgles. Lucas gurgled some water brake system. He had to gurgle water. It was salt water. His throat was hurting. Lucas, what was it? Lucas Girdle. Gurgle. To fix the leak, you must become the leak. We have some pressure. We have some pressure. And that, my friends, is why you wear safety glasses. Took that one right to the face. Here at Puddins Fab Shop, when we find ourselves in a messy situation, we get our Sweet Patina TKO hand cleaning wipes. Now, they may be for hands, but most people don't realize they can help get transmission fluid out of your mouth. They can get transmission fluid off your arm. And they can get transmission fluid off your fork head. Before, I was a dirty mess. Now I'm clean and ready to mechanic against the best. Thanks, Sweet Patina. If you'd like some of these good quality hand cleaning wipes, you can head over to sweetpatina.com. Be sure to use that promo code on the screen. Now, believe it or not, I didn't get a real good look at what threads we had here. Oh yes, just the suspected 1/8 inch. I did bring an 1/8 inch plug. I had some thread tape up in the shop, so I went and got her and did up. Now, something else we need to check. I pulled the dipstick on a reservoir up there that is the pump for this system, and I think she's pretty empty. So obviously being low on fluid ain't gonna do us no good. Got my creeper all dirty. That was my good creeper too. Y'all hear all the bugs in this tree line? It's insane. Yeah. Yeah. Hush it. I didn't get a single one to be quiet. Now up in here, here's the reservoir I'm talking about. You pull that, there's a dipstick that says add. It does say somewhere, check with park brake applied. I'm just gonna assume that a quart of the old Harvest King here ain't gonna hurt nothing, okay? Let's just do some assuming. I mean, obviously this thing has to be running to disengage them. Now, yesterday I was kind of wondering if maybe our, brake shoes back there were stuck, but obviously since we got it to move, wheels were spinning, so those can't be stuck. Let's see how she wants to fire up for us this morning. Psych! I brought us some oil. If the great white orca wants some oil, let's give her some oil. I'm only spilling a little bit just when it burps and does the Lucas gurgle. Pull that scalloper. Hey, right where she needs to be. Brought us a gallon of water as well. I didn't hit the pedal. All I did was bump the key. Got a few wasps in there trying to get me. Another couple quarts. She is still making noise, and I still can't see down in there. I didn't plumb top it off. I want to leave it a little bit of room. Got her in neutral. That pump definitely just changed some noises. It just did it. I felt it. The truck rocked a little. We're going into reverse. Whoa! Guys, we got to brake. Drive. Get the hell out of here! Oh my gosh, we got to brake again? You dang right. What the hell, brake clean? You let me down. Don't get distracted here, guys. We have a working, functioning box truck right now. Can't even enjoy my moment because of these wasps. Sure enough, that was the problem. She wasn't getting no fluid back there because there wasn't no fluid to get back there. Our little plug we put in, I don't think that was stopping us from working. Obviously, it would just straight piss out our fluid though, which ain't no good. So it's a good thing we fixed it. But mainly, that thing needed serviced. So I'm just curious, did she drop any? She may have dropped a hair. Looks pretty good though. I don't think we need any more in there. What about our power steering? Holy gearbox. Man, y'all see the size of that thing down there? Oh, she's got plenty of fluid in it. Brake system has some fluid in it. Are these separate or the same? Either way, I see some fluid in there too. It could use topped off, but I didn't bring any of that because it wouldn't make sense to bring all the fluids you could possibly need, just some of them. Before we do start driving her around, let's put the air breather from this Lodestar on it. That way we can protect our carbureting machine just a little bit. We'll rob this sucker here. I wanted our clamps. I dropped one and it disappeared. What a beautiful behemoth. And to think I was just gonna haul this thing off and get rid of it. Look, she may just be a good truck for us. Sorry I ever thought about getting rid of you, baby. I don't have the nut for that. We don't need no nut. A zip tie will hold it. I even hooked up our old breather tube here from our oil fill. She's ready for our official test drive. May it came in a little hot. I was gonna ask y'all if you wanna go for a ride. I forgot, maybe. There's a lot of crap stacked up back there. I'm the worst moving company ever. I did have some glass shelves back there too, so they may no longer be with us. Ow! Truck strikes back. That ripped right off. That hurt my finger. Guys, this thing responds and drives really good. Now I know I just went from right over there to over here, but it is definitely responding. The carburetor, the engine can handle a load. I've had to rev it up a couple times and it's doing a really good job. So Clyde Smith, baby, the best big rig driver I know. Power steering works awesome. I just turned around out in the street. Temperature gauge is coming up. I like the fact we get a temperature gauge. We get an oil light. Obviously the motor has oil right now, and when it quits getting oil, well, it'll lock up and blow and we won't worry about that, will we? I turned around at like half a mile per hour and I still heard stuff clanking around in the back. So I don't know how moving companies do it. You get one of these things, you gotta just crawl around like a turtle or what? Well, I can guarantee y'all this thing's making them little box trucks jealous, okay? Now, how did that land on there and didn't break that? I don't know. I forgot I had more of these racks. Oh, all this landed on that one. So all this fell from up here. Guys, that's why I'm not a black belt yet, okay? I can't control my emotions. I got it running, driving. I was a little excited. What I want to do, go try to do the Tokyo drift around the new road. That was my immediate thought. That almost ended bad. So basically, as long as we get those glass pieces out of here, then we're ready to start hot rodding again. Guys, we really may be able to move with this thing, actually. I mean, I think it's worth the shot. There's 3 things on my list that I think we need to do to have it move worthy. And one is, if we're gonna use this, we can't have it plumb pissing everywhere. So our line ain't leaking. At first I thought I seen it drip and it was dripping from there, but after I cycled it that last time, it's plumb coming out that. And that right there is just a muffler, guys. It's up right now, so the way you lift it up is you pump into here and it pushes on that piston, back that away, and that gets us where we're at. The only way fluid can come out of there is if our seal between here is bad. Now obviously the seal's good enough to do its job, but at the end of the day, it is still leaking. We may be able to put a little manipulation in the situation with a redneck solution, depending on what our threads are. Kind of look like regular old 1/4 inch threads to me. So this is where we need to fill the system up. That looks like regular old pipe threads to me as well. What I'm getting at here is, if that's going to bypass and leak, we could thread in a barb fitting over there, put a hose on it that comes over to here. We thread a T into this where our cap can still go on, but all that bypass fluid, well, she just becomes self-servicing. I like it. And it was bleeding out pretty good, but it's not pressurized, so just some rubber hose and clamps should do. I just pulled our battery because it's actually sitting on our starter solenoid, which is obviously not a good thing. Hooking up our original wiring there. And when I first put the battery up here, guys, it was still kind of hard to crank, but I noticed here lately it's cranking a lot easier. Probably because stuff like the engine's lubricated, the 40,000 pumps on the front are lubricated. I think stuff's just working better. So I want to try the battery back here and crank it in there, see how it does before we go too far here, because these batteries do not fit our battery trays. Oh, looks like they're digging the hole for the poop tank. I'll have that sucker full in a week and a half, because I'm plumb full of it. Hover back in here. Don't tease me, come on. Do we get the right batteries, or do we pull them trays off and go cut them and extend them and make them fit? But just talked to my parts lady, and they do have a battery that's similar to that one, but it's smaller where it should fit in here. So yeah, let's not fix it if it ain't broken. And the last thing I wanted to do was get an idea if we could use this gas tank at all, and I think that tells us what we need to know right there. Just plumb full of crap. We're doing the Pot County Shuffle, our local hardware, but between me and them, we had enough stuff that I think we're going to be able to rig up the bleed return for the hydraulics. I really want to pull that cylinder off there and try to take it to a shop to see if they happen to have the seal kit, but if they don't, then we're stuck. Now the flip side is, you know, if that seal goes bad, we ain't gonna have no lifting power. I got our 2 batteries, but now we are headed down south to St. Louis, Oklahoma, to St. Louis Salvage. I got a hold of Sammy and told him about our fuel tank situation, and he found something that ain't exactly what we need, but it may rig up easy enough, and it'll definitely be better than running off a 1-gallon jug. Back at the St. Louis, man, we got the Hot Rod Mustang flat black with the red scallops. Don't pull up in here too far, they'll park my truck out. Well, there's one military option they had found for us. Oh yeah, she's a little rusty looking. All right, y'all look and see what Sammy found me here. They got me a filler neck, a couple extra pieces of hoses, some straps, And big old, hey, do not weld or torch. You ain't got to twist my arm. I ain't gonna be trying that. This should be perfect little replacement for us. It'll beat our 1 gallon we got rigged up anyhow. Only 1/4 inch thick. Yeah, that's what we needed right there. A 405-289-3313. That's their number here. And Sammy is absolutely awesome to deal with. The way he runs his salvage yard, I really like. They're about operating business, not about you know, wasting time kicking tires, whatever. But this one's super heavy. Maybe we got something that'll get on that. We also got lucky that we're in some shade here. Man. Calm down. Got one side done, let's get the other side. Oh man. This right here is our supply for our fuel. A little big and disconnected. We got a ground right here we need to get. Got it loose by hand. That sucker's all there. And once you get her out the way though, we're left with a big old place. We can try our luck with our new setup and see what happens. Unthreaded both of our straps. With all that out the way, be a good time to finish pulling thorn bushes. Those ones, we may be better off pulling that away. That's dirt dauber on a briar. That don't tell you hell's real. I don't know what does. Ow. This sharp shell in your back, and yeah, you see that? Sharp shell in your back and arms feels just as good as the briars. I mean, it's behind the seat of the truck for crying out loud. There, a nice little small pile. I don't know out of all these hoses and crap on this what we're gonna actually use or get rid of. Oh baby. The reason I said that is I'm assuming this is a fuel pump, and here's our supply, here's our return, but there's only one hose coming out of here heading that away, so I think this thing is working as like a regulator as well. The only thing is we don't know how much pressure that's regulating. He said this was from like a medical Dodge Caravan, like one of the medical transport ones. So I don't know if this was the main tank in there. I don't know if this is, I'm assuming it's aftermarket. Surely they didn't just put this damn thing in a regular old Caravan. So I don't know if this is fuel pressure for like fuel injection, or if it's like a little transfer pump. I'm gonna try to figure out what's doing what here. Oh yeah, something's in there pumping away. He was in there pumping and it sounded like he was getting after it. What the heck? Some type of baffle in there. I try to put fuel in her. I got fuel everywhere but in there. But let's figure out our filler neck real quick. Boy, that has a tight fit. Alright, now we're looking like something. I don't know. Trim her down a little bit, bend it back that way. The looby dooby always makes everything better. Ow! Oh! Yeah, that metal shaving was a little hot. Got a little kink to it. Can we get fuel in her now? It's going somewhere. It may not be enough, but I'm hoping we can power up that fuel pump and see how much fuel we shoot. Depending on how far it turns this gasoline into a projectile, I'm going to use the eagle eye to judge the pressure it has. If it's a shit ton of pressure, we can't use it. But if it's just a little bit of pressure, we may try to hook it up. It sounded like it just got loaded down and really slowed down. Oh, I mean, that's a real steady little small stream, nothing crazy at all. I done fished us a hose down through the fender well. Yeah, there she is. Put that old stuff out the way, install your new hose. Before we full commit here, I want to get this hooked up and see if we can get the truck running with it. And if so, then we'll figure out how to mount it and everything else. Let's rig that up to our ground. Bend that over and we'll just shove it up into there. I think that was for a fuel pump. And we can't check it because we ain't got a battery. A battery may give you a what? Oh yeah. Yeah, I can feel her flowing. I'd say something was going on with her fuel. If I was a betting man, she's got way too much fuel pressure and she's pushing past our needle and seat and it's just shooting out. Keep an eye on it. I'm gonna turn it on, then back off where we don't do no more than we have to. She was squirting, wasn't she? I was afraid that may happen. That's all right, we ain't gotta use the built-in pump anyhow. That brings up the next lesson of the day. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Inside the tank's definitely clean. I can't imagine why that thing had enough pressure. I was thinking we'd maybe break this, but this does have the sender built in, and I'd like to ohm this thing out where we can put a fuel gauge in this if we need to. It looks like it passes through, so what if we drilled that sucker out? Damn it. Well, I had enough there, but it just broke that off, so now we got a hole right there. I'm gonna lube up this hose and pull that sucker through. And give her a little angle cut there, that way it can't just to the bottom of the tank. Slap all this back together and we're going to try it with this one. Here we go, blow her on out. Let's get her mounted and cleaned up a little bit. These straps are too big. If that sits flat there, there's a nice gap above this. Found a 2x4 over there in my scrap pile, and the electricians let me borrow their circular saw to whoop, rip her down the middle. Should be able to use these holes out here. And I did get us some bolts at the hardware. Got us a whole little mess of goodies. Woo, those suckers are hot. Holy cow. Don't tell Mortsky I didn't get nylock. He'll be on the internet crying. It needs 2 threads, don't you know? What in the Chinesium drill bits we got going on here? Caught the electricians right as they went to leave, because those straps are still going to be a little loose. Have some 3/4 inch OSB up there, so I cut a couple of them to put here on the top. Now that should be good. She's full strapped in. Drilled her other hole. I got her 2 pieces in the top. I don't think she's going anywhere. We got a vent tube right here that's cut, and we got this one that's cut. So if we lube that, to mount our fuel pump, I just loosened that nut there, and we're just gonna clamp that down. Fancy. I can't get too official here, so I'm just gonna tape up our connections. Still need to get a cap for that, but I ain't got one, so for now we'll just slap a piece of electrical tape on there because that'll hold until it doesn't. It's kind of right, it's kind of rigged. If we had a little more stuff here, we could make it really right, but ain't nothing wrong with a little chicken rigging. I mean, I'll trim the zip tie at least. We ain't Neanderthals around here. Not a bad little place to sit here. We're going 1/4 inch nipple to 1/4 to 3/8 bushing to this little 3/8 coupler kind of thing I have. And this was an air fitting from like my air compressors for air ride stuff I found. And this is gonna thread in to the exhaust side of that cylinder. Now for this, we'll have a 3/8 nipple into a 3/8 T with a 3/8 nipple, and then a fitting kind of like those, except this one has the female thread. Now it's really not too bad right here in the shade. Let's head under the truck. And then I'm going to clamp us on a hose. We need to cut her down. And tighten her down. And there, right there's our self-servicing leaking system. And get my rock dirty. And to test her, we need to get our battery back in her. Alright, got another battery sitting there anyhow. There's gravity down. Now what about going up? Oh yeah, there she goes. One, it definitely helps to have a good battery. Two, it helps when you're not losing all that fluid. We got a fuel system, we got proper-ish batteries. We got our leak fixed back there, guys. I think we're almost ready to do some moving. Thinking about batteries, let's fire this thing up. Oh, stuck him. The wasps never are ready for a right hook. Let's fire this thing up and see if the batteries are charging. Sitting right at 12.9. She was charging. I know y'all seen it. Taking on this truck was no small task. There ain't much small about it. It's been a lot of hard work, but I guess there's just one thing left to do. It's time to put her to work. got to see this thing go from being a big old paperweight. We were having to drag it around this land here, locked up, rear axle, whatever, just big old eyesore covered in thorns, to a pretty functional truck. And my little driving scene may look like a minute and a half to y'all, but that whole process really just took about 30 minutes with moving the camera and everything. And she stayed running good, guys. Climbed that hill, had power to be able to pull it, which is awesome. Parking brake felt really good setting it over there. I mean, if it's gonna roll anywhere over on that hill like that, should be where it starts to roll, and it did not. Steering feels good, brakes feel good, guys. I mean, it's just a good truck. You really never know what you're gonna get when you start playing with something that's been in the weeds or the bushes and briars like this thing was. And sometimes you get a hunk of junk, and sometimes you find a little hidden gem, which is what we just found here. Because I don't know if y'all see me move that heavy rear end by myself. That ain't a rear end, that goes on the front. It's a front axle. Y'all see me move that by myself, but doing that with a regular old pickup or huffing it around would have been hell. But having that lift, that was nice. I went a little extra on this one, got us actual pretty good fuel tank set up. We got a couple good batteries. That one still needs a bungee cord. I don't know what else it needs. We probably check fluids one more time on it. I never did check the trans fluid, but it sure feels like it's working good. So I haven't been too worried about it. But I think the next time you guys see this thing, I think I'm gonna use it next week and try to move the shop. We're pretty well at time to start moving here, and not the house per se, but that's okay, because if I need another week over there, then I can use this next week to move us here. So I need to go get with the previous owner. He did find the title for this thing, and I think tomorrow I'm going to try to get that situated and sorted where we can get some insurance on this rig. And a couple people said do a wheel it run on it, get it going and use it to move your place, and I thought, nah, it's going to have too much wrong, too much broke. I wasn't wanting to start sourcing parts for this kind of brake system and all that. I was like, it'll be too big of a nightmare and a pain in the butt. But lo and behold, she wants to be part of this move, and you know, rightfully so. She knows she belongs here in Box Truck Mafia, and she's kind of the queen, I guess, because I mean, when you got this kind of footprint and you can put that size Goodyear up one of them little mini trucks hind ends, you have a little say. Okay, appreciate y'all watching. This was a pretty successful wheel it run. I'm glad we did it. I had fun. It was fun to change it up from the shop progress, and now we're ready to use this to make more shop progress. So it's a win-win. We need to think of a good name for it and what we're going to put on the side of it. You know, we got to put something on it. My dad said Puddin' Pop's Moving Co. Maybe we should do him as a little character huffing a big old box or 12. They're about to fall over. I don't really know, guys. I'm just throwing it out there. A couple random ideas. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm on the Instagrammer. I'm on the Patreon. We have some hats and stickers pretty much at puddins.fab.shop, but we're kind of out of t-shirts. We got more coming, and we appreciate all the support there. Appreciate all the support of just liking, sharing, commenting, and telling your family and friends, helping spread the word about the big Box Truck Mafia here, guys. It means the world to me that y'all come back time and time again. And I reckon that is it. I will see you guys next time. But do not forget, sitting on your ass won't finish your project. I'm an idiot.